Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over the ultimate resource management and economy guide for Conflict of Nations World War III. In today's video, I'm going to get straight into the point and go over three main things. Number one, what each of the key resources are used for. Two, how you are going to get those resources. And three, how you should prioritize certain resources over the other ones. So let's jump straight into it. So the first resource you're going to be wanting to get is supplies. Now, supplies are most commonly used to mobilize infantry. They're also used in building certain things and sometimes research. Since they're used in so many different things, supplies are going to be a key resource. Components are another key resource and are mainly used later in the game when you're making things such as a lot of naval ships, like tanks and other really important machines like that. So this is also a super important resource. Fuel is mainly used for construction of buildings, and for that reason, it's important to focus on it early game. Electronics is used for building highly advanced machinery, such as fighter jets, sometimes stuff to do with missiles and naval ships as well, and are super important late game. Rare materials are used in every single thing you're going to research and are super important to get both early, middle, and late game. And manpower is another resource that is produced every time you conquer a province, and every city produces a little bit of manpower, and it is used every single time you're going to mobilize a troop. And money is produced in a similar way to manpower. Every province and every city you conquer and have contributes to it, and money is used for every single thing in the entire game, but tends to become self-renewable as you expand your country. Now, the main way to expand your resource production is to build arms industries in cities and conquer new cities. The thing is, when you conquer a new city, it only produces a small percentage, I think somewhere around 20%, of the resources that it would have been producing should it have been a homeland city. In other words, you want to focus your research production in your homeland cities because they are the most efficient at producing resources. And the way you're going to do that is by building arms industries. Arms industries increase the resource production by 10% at level 1, 20% at level 2, and 50% at level 5. So that is extremely important early game. And manpower, which I already touched on, can be increased in your cities by building recruiting offices, which increased the manpower by 5%, 10%, and 25%. So when you start a new game, the order in which you're going to build buildings is in every city you're going to build an army base, so you can build infantry. That has nothing to do with resource production, but I figured I'd throw that out there. Then in every single city, you're going to produce a recruiting office, which should only take about 6 or 7 minutes if you're on 4 times, or 30 minutes if you're on the regular mode, which you should just wait that out and log on immediately after they're done getting built to build a level 1 arms industry in every single city. Then after you get to there, until about day 5 or 7, you're going to want to be building maybe a level 2 or 3 army base in a city, maybe upgrade your naval facilities, maybe upgrade your air force bases, use your resources, push push making troops early game. And then once you get to around day 7 or 8, that is when you're going to want to go back into your cities and focus on building arms industries yet again. The cities that you're going to want to do this for are first and foremost your components, then your rare materials, and then, this one is supplies, then rare materials, and then components. Once you get all those to level 2, I would take them to level 3, and then do your fuel city, and then your electronic city to level 2. Once you get those to level 2, get the 3 that I already mentioned to level 4, and then get those 2 to level 3. It's extremely important to begin doing this around day 7 or 8, and you can even start doing it earlier on day 4 if you want to. If you're not really investing too highly into your troops and don't really need a naval base, an air base, and an army base. I have a video all about this. If you're just going down to build a navy and then an army and skipping out on an air force, you'll be able to do this a lot earlier. But I would definitely do it in the order, starting with supplies, then components, then rare materials, then fuel, and then electronics. Making sure by day 15, you at least have a level 4 arms industry in your components, supplies, and rare materials city. That is something you're going to want to push mid-game or somewhere into the early mid-game, around day 10 to 12, ensure you having those level 4 arms industries gives you so much of an edge going into the mid-game because you are able to push much more research, or able to push much more troops. Even if it means you maybe can't invade a third country early game, it is definitely worth it because it puts you in an even stronger position. Building those level 4 arms industries produces so many more resources than conquering 5 more cities would, just because of how much the extra percentage compounds on the fact that your homeland cities are so much better in your provinces is build something called a local industry. Now, certain provinces like this one have a little resource appearing above them, and then you can go there and build a local industry, which will massively increase the resource production. And now, seeing a 100% boost on resource production sounds nice. The provinces themselves don't even produce that many resources when compared to your cities, even if they have this little icon on top of them. So I would definitely recommend building local industries 100% if you have supplies, components, or rare materials local industry. If not, it's completely up to you, but it is something that I would lean towards building at least level 1 local industry in the areas that have those little icons appearing above them for resources. Don't go and build a local industry in anything else. One more thing you can do early game in order to get extra resources is to go what's called the stock market and spend some of your money that you start with getting these extra resources. This will allow you to build those extra arms industries up to level 4 or 5 that you really need to get by day 10 to 15 in order to get your resource production up. It's exceptionally exceptionally useful to use this to your advantage, especially because money is just so much easier to come by, as it really comes from just attacking and taking other players. Now, once you start getting into the late game and are beginning to attack and take other cities, you can get into what's called annexation. Now, this isn't something I would heavily prioritize in the day 10 to 15 mark, more of something you're going to really, really want to look at between days 18 to 25-ish. That's because annexation is extremely expensive. I can't show you because this is just a new game that I started to film this video, but it costs close to 4,000 supplies, 4,000 components, a lot of manpower, and a lot of money. It is a lot of resources. So it's only something you're going to want to do in a city that you find that you are lacking on. So if you find that, I cannot build my troops because I simply don't have enough components in order to build the troops that I need, annex a component city, and then build a level 4 to 5 arms industry in that city, and you'll be fine for the rest of the game. It's something you really want to look at mid-game, but it's something you should definitely not do early game. But what annexation does allow you to do is it increases that resource production of the conquered cities from the 20% to the full amount that it would have been if it was a homeland city, and allows you to build more troops. And the building more troops aspect comes into being very important late game. That's why a lot of people recommend annexing port cities, because that allows you to build more naval stuff and ships. But yeah, that's something you're definitely going to want to look at late. So in conclusion, I've gone over all of the main ways you're going to get resources from super early into the game to super late into the game. And if you just need a reminder on the building plan that I already outlined, you're going to want to build a level 1 army base in every city, then a level 1 recruiting office, and then a level 1 arms industry immediately when you start the game. Then between days 4 and 7, you're going to want to take the components, supplies, and rare materials cities up to level 2. Then take those same 3 cities to level 3, then take your electronics and fuel to level 2, then take the other 3 cities to level 4, and then take the other ones to level 3. Now that whole process is going to be finished somewhere between day 15 and day 20. If you're not putting all of your resources to it, what you shouldn't be doing, because you should also be building troops. But that's just a general building outline. It isn't something you need to be taking super rigidly. But other than that, if you have any questions, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.